Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and today I check out the Shaolin Boxers released on Blu-ray by Eureka Video. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia. Now, here's a little movie that really isn't highly regarded by many Kung Fu fans as a classic, but it is worth checking out. It's still a lot of fun. It's kind of cliched in many ways, kind of rival schools, Kung Fu tournaments, that kind of thing, but it still has enough going on there. Now, it is led by James Tien, this kind of Kung Fu star that never was, and he's appeared in many movies. I mean, countless movies. Of course, he was supposed to be the lead star of The Big Boss. Bruce Lee then, of course, took over. He was in Fist of Fury. He's in tons of Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan movies. He's kind of then went on to be this modern bad guy for the ages there throughout the 80s. But still, he's an enjoyable kind of guy to watch, and he is classically trained in some respects in Canto Opera and things like that. But the Shaolin Boxers is a movie I've always enjoyed, just never loved. Now, Eureka have put out this wonderful Blu-ray release, but I'm going to take it back, of course, to when I first saw it, which was on this VCD that I picked up in Hong Kong, I believe, or imported from Yes Asia. I can't really remember, but this is the Legendary Collection from Joy Sales and Fortune Star, and it was, for my first time watch, it was just okay. The fights oddly aren't amazing, but yet they're directed by the incredible and critically acclaimed Tony Ching Siu Tung, one of his earliest jobs in choreographing, and he does appear throughout it from what I can remember, but they were still kind of stilted, almost very stiff, and I think that was perhaps down to the performers. James Tien is a good Kung Fu fighter. I have to say this is probably one of those finest examples, but he still seems he's quite solid, he's quite stiff in his moves. He's not a very fluent wushu performer, I should say, but a very straight-laced Kung Fu fighter. But still, this was a nice introduction to that. And Kwok Choi, the late Kwok Choi, also appears in here. His final role was in Johnny To's Running on Karma, which was recently released on Blu-ray by Eureka Video also. Check that out. Anyway, jumping decades ahead, of course, it gets an upgrade on Blu-ray, first of all, from Shout Factory in this Golden Harvest box set volume 2. And yeah, again, to see it for the first time in HD was just fantastic. Not a movie I would have ever imagined that they would have included in this box set. In fact, there's a few movies in there I never imagined they would have included. But still, I felt it would be great to get this as a single release, as I do with a lot of movies, of course. And here we have it then, Eureka's Blu-ray release of Shaolin Boxers, or the Shaolin Boxers, or even the Shaolin Boxer, whatever way you want to see it as, or however you have picked it up in the past. But yeah, the Darren Wheeling gives us more artwork here and a design that matches most of the early Golden Harvest releases from Eureka. They've kept this running the whole way through, so when you do line up those sleeves, they all look the same. They're just different colours, which is quite beautiful actually. It's becoming... There's quite a lot, actually. I'm not even going to go through them all. There's quite a lot. But still, Shaolin Boxers, not a movie I imagine coming onto Blu-ray anytime soon, but yet here we have it. Now I've got it twice, and still quite pleased with it. I have to say, when I watched the Shout Factory edition, I quite enjoyed it. It was great to see it in HD for the first time, but it didn't really get any better for me. It was just still an okay movie. There was just something about it. Now the director, Huang Ta, I think his name is, let me see quickly, yeah, Huang Ta, I don't think he's directed anything else. Possibly Chinese Hercules, but that has to be confirmed. But it would explain why Shaolin Boxers is a little rough around the edges and isn't a genuine classic. Saying that, the fights from Tony Ching are pretty good. They're not perfect, they're not incredible, but they're pretty good. And again, I feel that that is down to the performers. Saying that, there is a lot of it though. There is a lot of kung fu fighting. Probably 50 to 60% of the film is kung fu fighting. But this is a new 2K restoration, which of course I will be putting up against the Shout Factory release there. And let me just go through what is included in this limited edition Blu-ray. We've got a limited edition no-card slipcase featuring new artwork by Darren Willing, which I quite like. I think this is probably one of his better works. Definitely more impressive than some of the others that he has put out there, especially Burning Paradise. 1080p HD presentation on Blu-ray from a new 2K restoration. Original Mandarin mono audio, optional English dubbed audio, optional English subtitles, newly translated for this release, new audio commentary with Frank Chang, new audio commentary with Mike Leader and Darna Venema, and then Shaolin Style, a new interview with Wayne Wong, editor of Martial Arts Studies, and the original theatrical trailer, plus a limited edition collector's booklet featuring new writings by Hong Kong cinema scholar Aaron Han Jun Magnan Park. Whew! Okay, yeah, pretty nice. There's quite a bit in there. I'm quite excited for it. Again, a movie I did not expect, so I don't expect it to have a ton of extras with it either. Sliding that on open though, we come out with, oh cool, the original artwork, which you can see then on the VCD there, which is quite cool. I really like that actually. I will be keeping that in there. And on the back, a plain green slot, as you can see. But I will pop that out, of course. Inside, the green continues, which is quite nice. I really like that. Reminds me of the Shaw Scope Volume 3. Booklet and disc there carries both of that. And when I slide this out, it's not a reversible cover as such. It does have, though, on the other side here, an image. So you don't have to choose which cover that you want to keep in there because it is only the one, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable movie. It's a basher flick. You know, it's not a term I use often, but it is definitely a basher flick. And I don't know how the director got it as a first-time gig and why James Tien was suddenly back to leading man. Possibly because Bruce Lee died and James was convincing Raymond Chow to let them move ahead there. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. The world was looking for a new martial arts star. Maybe James thought that this was now his time. Let me just quickly check out the booklet with you, of course. That stunning front cover there. And on the back, that Hong Kong poster carried over, which is nice. But let's get stuck in and see what's included. So yeah, James Tien is an odd one. Again, not someone that really went on to be the star he should have, because he can carry his own, but he's always got that same look on his face, doesn't he? It's rare that you see him in anything, or see him do anything quite different, I have to say. But hey, do you know what? He's there. He was a star of his time, and he did appear in quite a lot. Those lobby cards look absolutely lovely. Very nice. Short and sweet. I will check that out while watching the movie. But that's pretty much all I have to share with you. So I'm going to go now, put this up against the Shout Factory release, come right back and let you know what I think. So, just back after checking out the Eureka video Blu-ray release of Shaolin Boxers starring James Tien, a movie that I'm really never going to fall in love with, but even going back to it after such a short time since the Shout Factory release, I quite enjoyed it. Now, saying that, I didn't go into it in its original language or English dub, because it was quite recent. I just watched it with both audio commentaries, so I did go through it twice, which is slightly an effort when it's not a movie you really do love. But still, both audio commentaries were fantastic. Frank Chang on one, Mike Leader and Arna Venema on the other. Of course, theirs is a bit more fun because they can bounce off each other there and have a bit of banter. But definitely both have enough informative and their own ways of putting things across regarding the movie, its stars, and everyone else behind it. So they are definitely worth checking out there. The only other extra features, we have Shaolin Style with the handsome Wayne Wong. This ran for just under 17 minutes. Very informative on the whole piece. And basically, that time after Bruce Lee had passed and what all the studios were really wanting to achieve there. So it is quite an interesting piece. And then you have the original theatrical trailer that runs for around 3.5 minutes. Totally unrestored and absolutely well worth checking out. Even a minute of it, well worth checking out before you go into that wonderful 2K restoration, because it does look stunning in comparison. I mean, the trailer still looks better than the VCD. So I'll never be going back to that again, but it's worth checking out to see how films like this used to be watched to how now we're being spoiled with these gorgeous restorations. Still, for me, not a terrible movie. Love the release, beautifully done. The menu looks fantastic with Darren's artwork there, highlighted with that backlight. Double thumbs up from me. Super glad that it's in my collection once again. Out now from Eureka Video. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews and follow me on Instagram @InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu and I will see you soon.